Hey guys, Dave Barnish here. Last video I made was about uncertainty. And I went over one technique, but I wanted to go over 4 different techniques that I've used to help me deal with uncertainty, dealing with stress, dealing with anxiety. Now, in the last video, I talked about how years ago, probably about 10, 12 years ago, I had a full week or two of panic attacks. I didn't know what they were. I didn't know what was going on. And so one technique I was taught to help me get through those, but also to help me get out of this survival mode, this research mode that we go into when we deal with uncertainty. Because remember, the last video I talked about how the way that our brains deal with uncertainty is trying to find a solution. And so we go into research mode, which is amplified and toxified by social media because of this algorithm and giving us things. You know, an algorithm is a recipe. So when we plug something in, it gives us more and more things that are similar. And so you're just stuck. And the way that social media wants to keep our attention, we get stuck in this rabbit hole of looking for solutions or looking for distractions. We get stuck in this world that's in our head. These are solutions to help you that have helped me to get out of that mode of research mode, survival mode, and to get you back to what we talked about earlier, Antonio Damasio's idea of the core self as opposed to the autobiographical self. Autobiographical deals with identity. It deals with ego. The core self is transient. It goes from moment to moment. And it's in all of us. And so one technique that has helped me, like I mentioned before, was the senses technique. So when you're feeling very stressed, very overloaded, get away from the phone, sit down, and what I did was I would look for 5 different colors of the same hue. So I look for blue. Blue's my favorite color. So there's blue, there's blue, there's blue. I would then pay attention to 4 different sounds, right? So it's amazing what silence can do. Like silence doesn't exist. I was taught that in a writing class. When you're writing about silence, it doesn't exist. There are always things to listen to. 3 different touches: shirt, pants, tabletop, right? Book. Pick out a couple smells and a taste. I'm tasting matcha latte. I'm glad that's in 4K, by the way. In 4K sound, you can listen to me. I'll stop doing that. But that is a way of getting you out of your head and into the now, closer to that core self, your true self. And honestly, it's just a way for you to get out of your head, to give you a break. Get out of that research mode and to just sit and look around you, and you'll feel instantly better. It's helped me. I know it's going to help you. The second thing is journaling. So journaling is something that I'm a huge advocate for. It's on my site. And it's also something I want to work with going forward with my clients. I think that journaling, in my own life, journaling has helped me in so many different ways. Now, you don't have to journal if you don't like writing. You can do more creative work. You can play, anything that gets you, again, away from the screens and has you put down your feelings, your emotions, your thoughts. This is a way of getting it out of your head and onto the page. And not only is that really, really good, but it helps to work with you on what this is. You know, get it out of your head onto a page. It'll help you see what's going on with you. You know, it'll show you patterns in what you're going through. So that's a great way too, journaling away. Take 5-10 minutes a day, 2 minutes, 1 minute a day. And be by yourself, get away, and put it down in words. Be honest and be thoughtful and vulnerable. Another thing that's helped me is breath work. Any kind of, there was an old school Shivananda yoga studio just a block away from me right before COVID. And I didn't learn a headstand, but I learned a lot of old East End Indian techniques about yoga. And one of them was deep belly breaths. There are these really cool names like fire skull and things like that. And you can look up different breathing techniques. There's so many. But breathing is another way of, Thich Nhat Hanh, the Vietnamese Buddhist monk, said once that the breath is the bridge between your body and your mind. And I love that because it's true. Breath is one of the very few systems in our bodies that we don't have to think about doing. We don't think consciously. These are all these systems that happen, our digestive system, our blood flow. Breath is part of that. We breathe without thinking about it. But when we do think about it, when we can take a second to think about your breath, you feel that? Let's try it again. As soon as I take a deep breath, so do you. It's part of our mirroring. But do that. Watch videos of breath work. Breathe with other people. Take a class. Or if you're by yourself, go to a YouTube video. Or, again, set a timer, get away from the screens, and just breathe. Just breathe with no narrative. This is your core self. This is about you here and now. So that's another technique. So there's the senses technique, there's journaling, and there's breath work. And the last thing is meditation. And they all work together. And meditation is simply, another way that it was described to me was a friend of mine. He's like, again, just sit there. Don't do anything. Just sit there. Don't try to count your breath. Don't have all these different techniques that people do. Sit there like you're waiting for something. Sit there like you're waiting for a friend to show up. But you have no phone, you have no music, and your thoughts begin to wander. And whenever they wander, come back to your breath. Come back to that sitting. And that's a form of meditation. You can always look up different ways of meditation. They all work. But again, this is another technique to help you get away from that autobiographical research mode of trying to fix it. And that's the point of all of this. And that's the conclusion of this, is that when you feel uncertainty, your body's natural reaction is either to run away from it, and that includes distractions, that includes drugs, alcohol, everything bad, right? But it also involves you trying to solve the problem, which is, again, fine. It's perfectly fine to look for solutions, but you can't solve everything. Because that means control, because your body doesn't like to be out of control. Your brain doesn't like to be out of control. That's what uncertainty is. But it's in those moments of uncertainty where if it gets to be too much, use these techniques to help you. I want to thank you for your time. And I want you to do me a favor. I want you to put in the comment section, what exactly is a technique to help you with uncertainty? What's something that I missed? Does it involve walking in nature? That's another one. Or simply being with other people and talking about everyday things. Thank you for your time. Guys, have a great day.